My name is Rahul. I got a score of 318 in GRE. I got 165 in quant and 153 in verbal. I also got a score of 4.5 in AWAs. I'm currently studying aerospace engineering in RV College of Engineering. I'm in my final year right now, and I'm aiming for fall intake 2021. So I got to know about BYJU'S and CareerLabs as they had actually come to our college. They gave an introduction session where they explained how they gave a few shortcuts, and they said that there are more of these if you come and join us. So that got me intrigued, and I was planning to take GRE coaching since about a few months before that. So then I followed up. I actually contacted them. I went to the main center, and that's how I got to know the complete details about CareerLabs and how they function. And that's when I decided that I would join them. The main reason is the flexibility. That is why I chose CareerLabs. So since they give an option of either attending online classes through webinars or the pre-recorded classes in the tabs, or you could attend live versions. So I felt that it was very flexible and it could work with my academics as well. So this is why I chose CareerLabs. So I was introduced to this by Mohak, and he actually had come to our college before. And he was one of the ones who actually gave the introduction session. And I had a few doubts regarding what I wanted to do for higher studies. The traditional way was to go MS, but then I was looking for other options, and he told us about this other course called MEM, and that got me intrigued. And then I took up his phone number, and that's how I kept in contact with him. I was constantly asking him what MEM is and other queries regarding GRE in general. And then once I spoke to my parents about this, we actually spoke with Mohak, and then we decided a call in the CareerLabs headquarters. And that's when we went over there and we spoke to him and we asked the entire process, how much the cost is, what the plan is, how everything goes on. So that's what happened. The tablet is actually very user-friendly. It is very easy to use, and it has been divided according to the different sections. So there is one section for quant, there is one section for verbal, and similarly there's another section for AWAs. And under each section, there are subtopics, and every recording is according to the subtopics. There are also tests for each subtopics, and the recordings themselves are very informative and very easy. In fact, even people who aren't that well versed in these terms from before can easily understand them. The tests, as I mentioned earlier, there is a test after each subtopic. That is also very easy and simple. There are about 10 to 15 questions only, so you get a very brief understanding of where you stand. BYJU'S also has this webinar part of it, where live webinars, also the recordings will be available later on, where almost the same content which is there in the tab is taught, but here it's almost like a one-on-one session to you. So if you have any doubts, you can ask it immediately, and then you can get them clarified. And also for those who are expecting a slightly classroom-like teaching, this is really helpful for them. And the main difference between the tab recordings and the webinars would be that in the webinars, they first teach almost the similar basics which are taught in the tab, but there are a few tips which they give, which actually help you really a lot. Since the teachers are also have taken the GRE tests, or if it's the IELTS, those tests as well, the tips they give, which may not be mentioned in the tab, they help a lot. It could be simple tips like do this before the test or something like that. Also, one teacher that I remember really well was Monica ma'am. She actually taught verbal and IELTS. So why I remember her class is mainly because it was extremely interactive. The way she used to simplify a lot of things which I was struggling with just watching the tab videos, it actually helped me a lot. A lot of the methods in which she told me to remember words, and talking about IELTS, the way speaking. So speaking is one thing where you need to practice a lot. So she actually made us speak in class. So it was really helpful. So the test prep support, it's if you have any queries, if you have any issues, all you can do is just send a mail to them, and almost instantly you'll get a reply. They're extremely friendly. You can approach them anytime. And almost always, it always does get clarified instantly. And I have contacted them for multiple issues. Like initially, I wasn't getting the live webinar sessions information. So I just sent them a mail, and this very same day I started getting the information. So yeah, these are a few examples. I started watching videos. My aim was to finish it within 1.5 months. That was my aim. And I extended it up to 2 months. So within 2 months, all the tab videos I had already ended up finishing. While watching the videos, one thing is do make notes, because it is not possible to always go and watch the recordings again and again. Even though that option is there, it is better to make notes so that you can simply just flip the pages and you will understand what's going on. So this is what I did for like the first 2 months or so. And of course, take the tests as soon as a subsection is done, a subtopic is done. But then what I did was I started attending live webinars, and there I found out if I had missed anything. Maybe I forgot a concept and they explained it in a different way. Since the teacher in the recording and in the live webinar may be different, so the way they explain might suit you better when compared to the recording ones. And of course, the doubt clearing sessions. Any doubt you have from the recording, you might have made a note of it and you might have forgotten it later on. You can get them clarified very easily in the webinars. So webinars, they usually have it in 2 cycles. So within 2 months, you can finish everything. So this is what I did. And then towards the end, I was constantly taking up mock tests. So CareerLabs, they have about 5 mock tests. So I took around 3 of them. And then I took a few others from the GRE website, the main website, and 2 other Manhattan and Kaplan. So this is what I did. One thing that I maybe could have done differently is concentrate more on my vocabulary. So CareerLabs actually gives you access to a website called Membean. This helps you build up your vocabulary. The mistake I did was I started Membean very, very late. Even though I had finished all the recordings and live webinars, I probably did Membean for only 1 month. And if I had done this from the beginning, I might have actually scored above 325. I lost majority of my marks in verbal. So that is one thing I would like everyone to follow. Concentrate more on vocabulary mainly, and concentrate more on verbal in general. It isn't your normal English as you would expect. That is what I had expected at least. There are a lot of complicated stuff in reading comprehensions. Maths, for Indians in general, we can manage. And if you've taken your common entrance tests and if you have scored well, then you can manage it. But vocabulary and verbal in general is where I would suggest that you guys work harder.